Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's Daily Recap is for Monday, March the 25th, 2024. Monday, March the 25th. Well, I'm going to deal with it first. We have Trina. She's meeting Stella at Bobby's, and Josslyn was there filling in for Carly because Carly had to go do something, pick up Donna, do something with Donna. So Josslyn was there, and she was trying to say, "So Trina, I haven't seen you. Let's hang out. We haven't talked." And Trina's like, "Well, no, I really don't have nothing to say, and you're going through what you're going through with Dex, and then She goes, "But no, we're still friends and we could talk." And then Trina finally told her, "Well, I know how you feel about Jason, and Jason could be the one that shot my father." And Jocelyn looked at her and she's thinking, "Well, what does that have to do with our friendship? I mean, realistically, right? Hello?" Because it was really somebody after Spencer, your dead man's uncle, was trying to shoot him, shot Curtis. But you know, anyway, Jocelyn kind of looked at her. She goes, "But Trina, we still could talk. I mean, I honestly don't believe Jason is the one, but so anyway, she really got nowhere with Trina and Jocelyn. She don't try that hard. And Jason came in and he needed to talk to Jocelyn, and Trina was like, "Good, because I got to go and meet her Aunt Stella." And then she was trying to blow Stella off. So they had a long conversation about she doesn't know if she can move on without Spencer and yeah, blah blah blah. So Stella was saying everybody's grief is different, and she was like, I feel like, we didn't have a funeral for Spencer, which it was crappy, wasn't it? So Stella's like, "Well, you can always do something, you can always arrange something for you, that in memory of him." So she went to the graveyard and started just talking to the tombstone back. And then we had Brooklyn trying to talk Chase down. But let me get back to Jocelyn and Michael. They were talking, and Jocelyn, which is a shock to me, because remember, Jocelyn was talking all kind of smack crap about Jason over the past 2 years, right? About what he did blindly for Sonny, blah, blah, blah. But Jocelyn was saying, "I know that Jason did not shoot Dante." And Michael said, "No, I don't believe it either." And so she goes, and Trina thinks Jason was the one that shot Curtis. She says, "I know it wasn't Jason." Because if Jason's target was Sonny, Jason would have killed Sonny. She said, "He doesn't miss." And then she says, and then we get to the point Jason would never shoot Sonny, you know? So at least she's rational enough about that. So now let me go to BOQ. Chase wants to get out. He has to leave the police department for a while. He was off duty anyway, or just going off duty, or taking a break. Who cares? But Cates comes barreling in. "I want to see Jason Morgan." And Chase is like, he's in the interrogation room. However, he's our prisoner. I can still question the prisoner. This is a federal investigation. He's trying to bully his way in. So Chase goes in the room. He goes, "I can take you in there, but I can guarantee he ain't gonna speak to you." So Chase takes him in and he goes, "FBI Cates wants to ask you some questions." And then he looks at Cates. He goes, "But I already know you're not going to talk without your attorney present." And Jason looked up to Chase and says, "I'll speak to him." Chase said, "Wait, what? You never speak to anyone without your attorney present." He says, I'll speak to him. So Kate looks smugly at Chase, and Chase is mad, and he walks by saying he's probably going to try to offer him a deal. And I just wanted, so Brooklyn's like, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. What do you need? Where you want to go? I need to go check on my partner. She's like, well, let's go. So they go to the hospital, and he's still wound up saying, Jason Morgan, he better not walk, and blah, blah, blah. She goes, I don't think FBI Kate's would just let him walk because, they don't know. Jason is working for the feds, right? Um, or a branch of them. Look, it's one of those things. This hand don't know what the other hand's doing. But like when Cates was talking to him, he was pissed because he's like, now that Jason is in custody, they can't really extract him like that. He's like, why, when you were out, why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you call in? He said, because I left my phone next to Dante so they could triangulate and get the ambulance to him faster. Why did you even help him? He had 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. You know the likelihood that he was going to die. Why would you even, call 911? They have your voice on. Now they ID'd you and blah, blah, blah. He goes, I was not going to leave Dante without trying to save him. But now you're implicated. And he's like, they had drones on top. They saw who you were. And he goes, so then Dante's kind of looking like, then I was implicated anyway. At least everybody knows I was trying to save Detective Falconeri, right? And so Kate is like, if he dies, you will go to prison for, ever. But anyway, Jason said, he hasn't died yet. And he hasn't, right? He goes, Dante knows I did not shoot him. So anyway, Kate was like, why didn't you leave with the other guy? He said, because I wasn't going to leave Dante. He says, and then whatever the guy, Johnson, Roberts, Sniper, who cares? He was going to shoot me, so I shot him. And so he said, okay, so your cover's blown. He says, well, you know what? After I shot him, they kind of would have figured something was up, with my cover. And he goes, aside from the fact that I left before the sirens got closer, the ambulance got closer. And so Kate says, we did not find a body on the docks. Did you put it in, dump it in the harbor? He said, no, I got out of there. He says, my guess is the extraction team, when they got there, they saw the body and they got rid of that body, right? They extracted it, they took it with them. So Kate was just, 2 years of hard work. You could have blown it and blah, blah, blah. And Jason says, hey, bottom line, I did what I needed to do. He didn't tell Kate, I made sure the sniper missed the target. Or did he say that? I forget what he said. He may have said, I made sure that, Sonny Corinthos wasn't killed, because Kate is not there to kill Sonny. They are after something. It's interesting. They are after something bigger. I honestly think they might finally bring in this loose end from out of now left field called Pikeman. That actually, no, can't be, because Jason said, I made sure that Roberts left the rifle. And so Kate he says, according to plan. And Kate says, okay, well, at least that. So that made you think, wait a minute. That shipment was boosted from WSB. That Pikeman, they're figuring Pikeman was reselling. I don't know. They've got to really tie all of that in because each time they wanted those rifles left at the scene for some strange reason. I'm not following that, everybody, right? So anyway, he says, okay, where did you go? Where were you before you got to the bridge? And so Jason says, I came to the bridge after I left Dante. No, we were there before you. Jason says, well, of course you would have got there before me. I was shot and I was moving slow. He goes, you were at Carly Spencer's house while we were there. I had a warrant then. I could get another warrant to search for your DNA. You were bleeding. Then we'll find some DNA evidence. So Jason leaned into the table and he said, I went straight to the bridge where you were. Like, don't ask me again. So Kate's leans back. All right, like, you know. And then he says, okay, this police report says you had a clean and sutured wound. Who helped you? Who did this? And Jason just looks at him like it's immaterial. You all need to work on getting me out of here, so I can finish the mission, or we got to improvise, revise the mission, whatever the mission's going to be, right? Because they still need him. So anyway, Kate will get him out. And bottom line, Dante's not going to die. So maybe Dante's going to wake up this week. And that will, you know, Jason won't be on the hook for shooting a cop. Willow talks to Liz because Liz is freaking out. She doesn't know what to say. She doesn't know what to tell the boys. And, she doesn't know what to believe. And Willow was just trying to say some comforting words to her, blah, blah, blah. You're a good mother. They hear Chase and Brooklyn talking. And Chase is saying, Jason Morgan has turned himself in. I want to make sure he pays, and for the shooting Dante. And Brooklyn is like, Chase, we still don't know what happened. You cannot jump to conclusions. Let's go sit by Dante's side. Let's talk to him. And that's what we can do right now. So Liz and Willow heard that Jason turned himself in because Willow didn't know at that point. Only thing she saw was a text from Michael earlier saying the boathouse is empty. Because Michael didn't even know that Jason had turned himself in at that point. Okay, so she and Liz were talking, and she goes, okay, now we know. Because Liz is like, I just want to know, where is Jason? And she goes, okay. So now we know Jason has turned himself in. And Liz is like, now see, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad, just, oh, and poor Jake. Jake is this, Jake is that. And I've got to reassure him, and I don't know. And so Willow said, you know what, Elizabeth, the only thing I can say is Jason is like a father figure to Michael, right? Jason is like a brother to Sonny. Jason would not shoot Dante, Michael's brother, Sonny's son. She says, Elizabeth, I don't know Jason that well, but from what Michael describes him and talks about their relationship, Jason would not do that. And Elizabeth looked at her and said, I needed to hear that. And I'm thinking, why? Elizabeth, you've known Jason since you were a teenager. Oh, but you need somebody that barely know him to tell you that before you wouldn't, give him the complete benefit of the doubt. Dante was not your boyfriend. He's Sam's. Even though Sam should even know better, but Elizabeth has always been trying to figure out a way she could secretly be the savior to Jason. I guess Jason should have showed up, in her backseat of her car so she could take care of it. Then she'd be all team Jason because that's exactly the way that she is, right? So then it was Elizabeth was time for her to go home because she was saying the boys she wanted to get off early because they were coming home and she didn't know if they had heard on social media or whatever that Jason turned himself in and she wanted to make sure she was the first person that told them. So Jake and Aiden get home, and Aiden's talking about he wanted his yeast to rise. He's getting ready to make some bread. He's just talking, talking, talking. Oh, because he found a great recipe for some bread. And Jake is like, enough already. I don't care about stupid bread, right? So he's like, what? Well, so he's sniping at him, and Aiden was trying to get his brother's mind off of things, and Elizabeth walks in, and Jake sees Elizabeth, and Aiden sees her, so she goes, boys, come on, let's sit down and talk. So she's talking about it, and she goes, I'm gonna only tell you what I know. I can't tell you what I don't know, but I will share everything I do know. So she talks to him, she tells him, and Jake is like, it was better that he stayed dead and blah, blah, blah. If in fact it turns out he shot Dante, he should have stayed. Oh my goodness. He goes off in a deep end, just loses it. And Elizabeth tries to calm him down. She goes, Jake, I can understand. You don't understand what's going on, neither do I. I mean, I don't know. But we're going to have to wait and we're going to have to see, you know? And your father has not been proven guilty of anything. It hasn't been proven. So, just hang on, hold on, just wait, right? And so he's like, I'm sorry, mom. And Ada's like, I'm sorry, mom, too. It's funny. All those boys, they actually are very respectful to Elizabeth. And they treat her more delicately because, look, over the years, they've seen their mama crack and go off a deep end a lot, right? As recent as 2 years ago, when she was with Finn, okay? Well, wait, she's still with Finn. But when she and Finn first got together and she was losing her mind and it had to do with Jeff Webb, crazy crap talk, right? Ended up being Finn's first wife was involved. It was the stupidest storyline on the planet. But anyway, so they know Elizabeth, they need to make sure they've had to take over where Cameron left off because Cameron was pretty much Elizabeth's protector. And he helped raise his brothers because his mother couldn't be there. It was either Graham or Cam was raising Jake and Aiden. So anyway, everybody, that was it. It was actually very, very slow, if you ask me. Today was not that great an episode. I'm getting my stopwatch together. Let's go to Comment Corner, Comment Corner. Today, I'm going to start from the bottom up today, the bottom up. Ron says, love Diane. That's how a lawyer should work. She quickly put Chase in his place, did nothing but hit in his place, did nothing but back down. And the good thing is Jason knows he will walk, or Chase did nothing but back down. Anne says Chase better fall back. He doesn't realize who Jason Morgan is. Oh, like he gonna step to Jason. I know, right? And then we have Denzel says, I was so happy that Jason finally called Diane and turned himself in. But IKT, I don't know what IKT is. That was going, is that I knew that was going to happen, but Michael was dumb. I understand he wants to help Jason, but he was dumb when he said he's gonna send Jason to the Q's private on their private jet like a dummy. I know. It was going to be traced back to you. Use your brain, Michael. I'm glad that Jason told him not to, but Chase is trying to act all tough and want to fight Jason. Like, boy, sit down. LOL. I like Chase, but Jason would beat the crap out of Chase. He sure would. You know, he don't know about Jason's history. And then let me go down a little bit because that's a little bit long and I want to straighten my voice. She's glad Sasha left, and that Maxie had enough, and she checked Lucy by kicking her out of her office. Um, Maxie needs to be CEO of Deception. I'm sorry, she works hard, harder than anyone else. That is so true. Great recap. Have a great weekend and see you next week for Monday's episode. All right, Denzel. And then we have Joanne gave a happy face to Denzel's comments. And then we have Dacia says Lucy is worse than Nina. They're both selfish, only care about themselves and nobody else, or only cares about nobody else but themselves. Lucy says Dante's best friend Cody and his mom, Mama Q, together remembering old times and praying for him. Beautiful scene, yeah, that was, even though I fast forwarded most of it. Lucy says, Daily recap lady, it is great to hear comment corner again. You're right. I am so happy I can speak again. I do cough occasionally, but overall I'm good. Michelle says, I used to feel sorry for Lucy after Tracy took half of her company, but after today, she deserves worse. I agree with you, Michelle. Otherworldly says, I haven't supported under any circumstances since her idiocy risked lives during the Victor Cassadine era. I know. I have never not wanted to see Lucy in not one scene after that. I was sick of her. Otherworldly says, if Lucy got her just desserts, she would lose all power and proceeds from deception. She could move to the invader with a new beginning under Valentine. I don't think she's done anything to make him look bad yet. Uh, Let me see. And now we have Aisha says, I get that Sasha has given up her shares in deception if she quits, or has to give up her shares if she quits. But does she have to sell them back to Lucy? Nope, she does not. Um, and the shares would not go to Lucy. I think Lucy would probably have to buy those shares. So Lucy would have to have the money. And Tracy would be able to buy those shares from Sasha. So it's like, who has the money to buy the shares? Tracy. And Sasha probably would sell them to Tracy before she would sell them to Lucy. I'd rather see them go to Maxie or BLQ, even an outside buyer. Because you know what they don't ever talk about anymore? Selena Wu owns large shares in Deception, and they haven't talked about that yet. See, Lucy shouldn't even have four. Tracy has 51%. Lucy has 49%. How? Selena Wu owns a chunk of it. So I'm not getting that. They've had us conveniently forget that, right? Let's see. Anyone but Lucy. How about Nina showing some concern for someone in a real predicament and return support and encouragement to Sasha? Give her a constructive and substantive way. Why should the heiress be handed multiple lucrative business offers while Sasha is at loose ends? You would think Nina would offer Sasha a job, wouldn't you? You would think so. Aisha says, love watching Diane reunite with her favorite client. How long before we hear Jason reciting, I have nothing to say without my attorney, or telling Carly, count to 10. I know, huh? And P. Merle says, so will everyone be knocking uh, each other over trying to talk to Jason on Monday? What leverage can the feds have over Jason? I'm afraid to even speculate. I wonder if the writers know where they're going with this storyline. All the haters will owe Stone Cold an apology. Otherworldly says, thanks to Sonny doing business with Pikeman, I'm sure that Cates has a video, probably, of those military guns being unpacked in Sonny's warehouse. Dex ain't the only one that could be recording. I know that is true, right? Sonny's protection is Jason's ultimate goal. See, to me, the Fed should really be after Pikeman ultimately. Why did they bring in Brennan, the one that's in Pentonville right now? Why did they even bring him into the picture? He was over the WSB. He's a bad apple, but he also had Pike. He was also in league with Pike. I think we're still going to deal with Pikeman. I really do. And then Judy says, all of those haters and doubters get on board and apologize. And then Otherworldly says to Judy, they'll never apologize about their hate while they have some doubts. Let's see. And then we have Marie says, Maxie ran the magazine company single handed. She sure did, all by herself. And then Lisa said, yes, she did. The company should go to Maxie, and Lucy needs to be removed from the company. Lucy is a walking disaster. The company would be done in a month or less. The only blood Lucy gave is from a paper cut, nothing more, but almost losing the magazine. Well, not the magazine, you mean the paper. You mean the paper. And then, I mean, not the paper, deception. Marie says, you have the best recaps, of anyone, and that's what's on at the time. Wait, than anyone that's on at the time. Thank you for doing a great job. Why, thank you, Marie. I am happy I'm feeling better. And user in you says, yes, I enjoy the visits from the pretty lady in the hat. That's like catching up with a friend about our stories at Walmart, LOL. And that's why I love doing it, everybody. I really do. I just hate the fact that I haven't had time to do my Young and the Restless in over a month. Oh my God, I got to figure something out because I missed my Young and the Restless recap, folks. Even though they weren't as many as you, but anyway. DL says, not sure where the writers are going with the deception storyline. I can see Maxie back at Crimson, yep, and Sasha will go to the Invader. That will be interesting. Hmm. I don't know if Sasha is Invader magazine, the pressure of getting something out like that. I don't see it. I see her working with Maxie. Otherworldly says, I'm going to agree that Sasha um, is on her way to the Invader. I don't know if I like that. Because remember, it was the Invaders reporters that were so nasty to Sasha that sent her over the edge as well. And then DL says to Otherworldly, yeah, I forgot that she and Nina are close. Yeah, they're close, but I don't think Sasha can handle that pressure with her sobriety. Um, let's see. DB says, I still love the fact that those of us who know Jason know Jason did not try to harm Sonny, or he would be dead. That's right. Sonny should be the first to shout that out. He should have been, but he wasn't. And my last comment for today, Yolanda says, Lucy wants Sasha's stock. She's she's not slick. She is detestable. Yes, she is. Well, I made it 10 minutes, everybody. I made it. I made it 10 minutes to Comic Corner. I'm so happy. Comic Corner is back. So I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of General Hospital.